All right, well, we're here with the guys from Bellarine Property in Victoria. They've got a very young, dynamic team. They operate in probably one of the best markets. When I say best markets, probably the best located markets or best geographical markets in Australia. They get to surf every day, they get to sell real estate, and they get to motivate and lead their team. We've got Ben, Levi, and Christian from Bellarine Property. Now, just before we get to those guys, make sure you hit the subscribe button below for YouTube, and also follow homely.com.au on Spotify and also on iTunes. Welcome, guys. Thanks for giving us a bit of time today.
Thanks, David.
Tell us a bit about your marketplace. You're in a very, very desirable location. Growing up in Victoria, it would have been incredible to live where you guys get to operate. Tell us a bit about your marketplace and a typical day for you guys when you're not surfing.
It's community based. It's not really suburban. Very much, it's not suburban. It's very coastal, village style feel. Really relaxed. Because we all surf, and we've got the river and the beaches and everything. It adds to that atmosphere, and it's a desirable place where we have a lot of holiday homes here. People come from Melbourne or the Western District, which is the farming area, come here. And it's not just the surf. We've got really good golf courses all around. We've got good schools in Geelong and on the peninsula as well. Primary schools in Ocean Grove and Barwon Heads and everywhere else. It's just a really cool, relaxed, atmosphere, I can say. We're in summer, we wear shorts and polos. We're wearing jeans here today, and white runners, and we hate the tie, we hate the look, and we hate the feel of where you feel that you've got to dress superior over to somebody and be polished up all the time. We're pretty relaxed. That's it. We either surf or run in the morning, and we just fit within the town, I suppose. We sell the lifestyle.
Yeah, cool. And did you all grow up in the same area that you're living in now?
Levi did.
Levi's the only one.
He's the only one.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are new recruits. You found your way there to a small piece of paradise. Tell us a bit about the business, guys. What's the sales team breakup, and how many people have you got on board, and a bit about the demographic?
Yeah, so in the company in total, it's 21 or 22. What are we? 21. We've got someone over offshore in the Philippines as well, working for us as well. But we've got 4 people in the property management team. We've got about 5 or 6 in the admin team, and then we've got 8 salespeople as well. So it's a really good. We started off with only 6 in the 9 years that we've been going. We've built it up to the 21 people that we've got. We've got a good market share, and the agents that are operating, we operate across the whole Bellarine Peninsula. We operate as a team in our business, which is completely different to a traditional normal real estate agency. Traditional normal agency is an agent is within a business, and they've got to run their business within that business under the umbrella of the banner and their systems and everything that they use. And we've created entire systems and structure for everyone to use, and the teams actually share the commission geographically where they operate. So it's been it's definitely our biggest point of difference over any other agency that there is in our region, in our area, and probably let alone a lot of places in the country. And that's what's probably stood us out more than anything is agents get to collaborate with each other in the team. We all get to help one another if there's a struggle with any negotiations or you just need help, just getting listings, getting sales across the line. There's no guarded information. There's no secrets. It's just all out. And we're a team. We don't have fights. And one of the biggest fights in any business in real estate is about the financial side and someone taking someone's commission. That does not occur with us at all. And so it's a really good team culture, and us as directors, it's about making sure that every single person that is in the business doesn't relax and doesn't get complacent. And we track their numbers pretty, normally like any other agency does, so that they've still got their goals and targets and their KPIs of bringing in the amount of appraisals, the amount of listings, and the amount of sales that they're going to be doing. And if that drops off over a consecutive number of months, then those hard conversations are going to be had. But other than that, geographically, Barwon Heads, Bellarine team, and Ocean Grove team, they all share the commission.
All right, so can we just break that down a bit, because it's quite a unique model to have the sharing of commission like that. It's almost like a co-op type arrangement, which is it's pretty cool. So what does a standard transaction look like if I'm one person in the team and I achieve appraisal, I go out and list it, and then I find the seller? How does that work with the team? How are the different roles and responsibilities broken up or shared across the different guys in the team? And how many people is there per team?
Yeah, so at the moment, David and I look after what's called our Bar and Heads team. So 3227 is our postcode. Myself and my colleague Peter Walter, it's a female Peter. And then Ben here, he runs our Ocean Grove team. So there's 2 in my team and there's 4 in his. Everyone within that team, like a sports team, I suppose, has their role within that team. You know, are they a lister? Are they a combination of listing property and selling? Are they more focused on being more of a buyer's agent, so to speak? So everyone has their roles within the team. So if Ben brings in a listing in his Ocean Grove team, Ben may sign that listing up. He may bring a buyer through the next day and he may sell that property in 2 days. But all the other 3 members of his team will still get financially benefit, a predetermined percentage of the commission that's in their contract. Because on the flip side of that, what will happen is Toby in Ben's team might list a property and do the same thing. Ben won't even have anything to do with it, but everyone will still share in that commission. So it just creates a real team atmosphere. So if you've ever got an offer on a property, an agent receives an offer, the first thing you do is let everyone else in your team know that I've got an offer. What are your other buyers? Where are they up to? Would they like to put in an offer as well? Let's try and create competition and get the best price for the vendor, rather than I've got a buyer, I've got an offer from that buyer, I'm going to try and sign them up, because if I sign them up, I'm the one that's going to get paid. So it's really, really collaborative, really open and transparent. And it creates a great culture, but what it does create, it creates the best result for the vendor, because you don't have 1 or 2 agents working for you. You've got every agent in that team trying to find a buyer and sell your property.
I was going to say that. Oh, sorry, Ben.
What I was saying is sometimes it isn't always about the money. Sometimes it's about the circumstance of the vendor. You might have 2 different buyers. One wants to settle in 30 days and the vendors have already purchased property and they need to get going pretty quick. Or that other person might be offering with a 6-month settlement, they might be 50k more, but the vendor's circumstances means that they need to get the bank done, move into the next house, and that's the decision they get to make with those 2 offers on the table from the team environment.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say, you would obviously achieve some really, really strong results, because the necessity to sell is actually shared across all of the team. So it's not down to one person who may be more desperate for a commission check or not. It's actually, hey, as a team, we want to achieve great results for our vendors and best possible results in order that we get better profile, get more listings, etc. I really like that. So
yeah, real estate. Sorry, Dave. Real estate's about relationships, obviously. The house is secondary. It's about people feeling comfortable with somebody and wanting to get the best price. So quite often what will happen in this team environment, Ben might list a property, but it's actually Zoe or Trent or Toby, one of the other team members, that just naturally takes over that listing because for whatever reason, they've got a great connection with that client.
I was going to say, that'll be the next point, isn't it? The rapport side of things. So, I might be a gun lister, but my process around, the campaign might not be as tight or might not be as strong, but that then falls to another person in the team who's fantastic at maintaining relationship, opening lines of communication, etc. Okay.
100%.
And sometimes sometimes through a campaign too, David, you can even, you can have clients that you've worked with for years, and for whatever reason, you hit a stumbling block and that relationship tears or deteriorates a little bit. And because we're open and talk about this stuff amongst ourselves, we'll openly, like I'll say to Toby, hey, look, I'm just clashing with these guys now. Can you just start giving them some love and some nurturing, because otherwise we don't want to lose the business, obviously. And that allows us to keep it within the company, maintain the listing, and then ultimately get the listing sold for the vendors, which we want to do from the start.
Yeah, absolutely. With the last couple of months through the pandemic, how's that been able to strengthen your business, just having that team model that you've set up there?
Yeah, I reckon it's weird to say. I'd be struggling as an owner. It'd be hard to really identify how every agent would actually be operating, because as a group,
you're left up to your own devices as an agent.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
yep.
And there's a level of responsibility for each agent, and you've got to keep each agent not just getting into the level of comfort at home in that environment. Whereas every day, everyone's always been coming into the office and they bounce off one another. That's probably been the biggest challenge, is that everyone is not around everyone. So we've got an environment where everyone sits, with booth walls and stuff next to each other, and they all chat and talk to each other when they've got issues or need assistance, and they can just put their head around the corner and, ask the next person and have a chat and yarn. And that's been missing. So
momentum's been breaking down because we haven't been around each other as much. Probably that's been the biggest.
Yeah. So a few little, WhatsApp group messages coming around to each other, talking and just a few emails back and forth about lists of, buyers that you've connected with or appraisals that you're booking, or we've had some database things for people to, streamline and clean that out quite well. Just trying to keep things motivated, because there's a lot of phone calls that can be made, but then there's a lot of negative results out of those phone calls, because obviously we're in the process of COVID-19, and people aren't jumping down your throat to say, I want to look at that property, or I want to inspect, and no, I don't really want to sell now. So then they turn to they need other areas of motivation to keep them inspired as well. So that's probably been the biggest issue, I suppose, probably from our end of the business, because we are a real team environment, and then a team disappears into they're on their own. So that's probably been the seamless challenge for us, and it's just about keeping everyone united and keeping them back in and continuing to do work as an agent does.
I love that. I mean, I think productivity could drop very heavily if those guys are left up to their individual devices and weren't part of a team. But I think as a team, you're obviously naturally going to carry each other through and rely on each other. So there's a level almost of accountability peer to peer, which would work really, really well.
Yeah, there's a lot of sharing of information as well, David. As challenging as it has been, you're separated, you're working from home. Somebody comes up with a really good SMS or a really good phone call to make or email to send or whatever it is, there's a real collaboration about sharing that information with not only your team, but all the other agents within the business. So that's probably the best thing that's come out of this. I think that, yes, we've been separated, but there's been a lot of support there with guys. I'm using this. It's working really well for me. Why don't you use it as well?
Yeah, okay. So a very collaborative environment and almost like a co-op type arrangement with the team. It's a strong model. Would it work in the city, or is it more refined to, or is it more suited to your marketplace, do you think?
No, it will work anywhere. Okay. It won't work with an established agency. Starting from scratch. So we started in 2011, and that's the way it started. And then it's just grown and grown and grown and grown like that. If you're in a city now and you were to open one up, it's just dividing geographical areas, postcodes.
Yeah. And
creating teams. So, look, at the end of the day, you really need a minimum of pretty much probably 1,500 to 2,500 houses in one area. And you can have 1 to 3 agents in a team of that environment, of that amount of houses in the community. And most city areas will have a lot more than that. And I've spoken to a lot of agents around the country about this model, and they've got 10, 15 and 25,000 areas, and they're just going to divide the areas that have got 20,000 houses. They're going to divide those into 4 different codes. So 5,000 per each team. So, and it's just becoming, and it works. It really works. Because what Levi was saying earlier, the winner is, so if you had a house in our area and you employed us to sell your property, and you're on the market for $1 million, and we bring you an offer of 950,000, and it's 60 days and it's unconditional, and you go, oh, that's not too bad, but I want a bit more. Yeah, you want more. That's exactly what you want. You'd ideally want $1 million. But when you come down to signing a contract, you want to be very comfortable that you've signed the best price, even if it ends up being $950,000 after a numerous amount of conversations, and it ends up being $950,000. You want to feel very comfortable that there is not one other buyer that's out there that would have paid $1,000 more. With our model, you'll have that.
Okay,
because so every single agent in our business, every single buyer that inquires or inspects that your property, if you're here, is notified about the offer on the property, and every agent is speaking to every buyer to say this property could sell if you don't submit an offer. And that's what's occurring, and it's open and transparent. And the person who's got the offer of $950,000 in a traditional agency will talk you as hard as you can to get you to accept it, because they're going to earn the money.
Yeah.
And can sometimes avoid the opportunity of it going out to the rest of the marketplace to extract a better price.
It's an incredibly strong model. As a vendor, I would take a lot of comfort or a lot of peace of mind around that, because you're presenting an overwhelming weight of information from not just one individual, but an entire team who has worked to get that result. So very strong indeed.
That's probably the main area of success of why obviously vendors choose us, but also why the brand has grown to be the biggest market share and to maintain that and still be growing in this period of time that we're in at the moment. Because we know as agents we're happier. We know that we're enjoying our workplace more, so the environment, and that you know, the day off scenario, like you know that you can have a day off without dwelling on how many deals you could have done or not done, because you know that someone's got your back, and you can have holidays. And you know, and right now in the environment that we're in, obviously, as Levi was mentioning, some of us are working from home. I've probably been busier than I ever have been, but some of the stuff I haven't been doing, like other parts of the team members have been organising it, but it's allowed me, because I've been more on the ground, to do those things that are going to benefit the team. So it's been a really interesting way in how everyone's re-collaborating and then even getting tighter together as a team.
So David, if you analyse the real estate model, you've got to generate leads, and you've got to, then after a lead comes in, you do an appraisal. Then after an appraisal, they either become a future seller or they list there and then, okay? And if they list there and then, they need to be serviced. And then the buyers also get serviced. And then eventually you negotiate and you sold. So there's a number of different components. In our model, the best lead generator can do that. And the best people to do appraisals will do that. And the ones who've got the relationships will do that. The best people to service the vendor will do that. The best ones to service the buyers will do that. You've got the best and the elite agents operating in a real estate model, rather than just saying, hey, you can come here to Bellarine Property, get a job, and you can do lead generation, appraisals, potential follow-up potential sellers, list them, qualify them, service the buyers, service the vendors, negotiate, sell, and then continue. We break it up, and everyone's got strengths and weaknesses, not just in real estate, but in life. And some people are more patient, more diligent, more disciplined, can sit at a chair and do administrational work longer than 10 minutes, and some can't. Some are great at talking and doing those things, and some, you know, so it's identifying the personalities of the people. And our job is, our industry is about relationships and personalities.
Who decides those roles and responsibilities? So is it a process of natural selection, or is it you guys decide, hey, this is the team that you're going to work in, you're going to be a buyer's agent, you're going to be the seller's agent, you're going to be, how does that all get broken up?
We send them up to every person, every agent that comes in, we send them to Papua New Guinea. They've got to do the Kokoda Trail. No, just...
I like it. If they make it through, they can start it as an associate. Nice.
Okay. It depends on two things. It's probably first and foremost, you're bringing in somebody else when the team's growing to a certain level. So when you're growing that team to a certain level, you're identifying, all right, do we need someone else to list, or we need someone else to sell? And that's probably the simplest part of it. And usually it's, we need someone to sell. So more often than not, we'll bring someone in and like, we're going to teach you how to service buyers, service vendors, and sell property. And then you skill them up on the other things along the way.
Now, it probably doesn't happen in Bellarine, but and everywhere else in Australia, there's this thing around real estate, people occasionally having egos. So with this in mind, do you guys sort of suffer that? Who gets the profile if something sells? Like, how do you handle disputes around that? Who gets the glory for the sale or the listing?
It just probably organically happens, David. Like, whoever sells it. And whoever lists it. We don't really, there's very rarely ever a these three.
Nice.
Very, very rarely is there anyone like, you know, in fact, I can't remember ever anyone in the team saying, I actually sold that, why am I head up as the selling agent? Like, it just happens. And what we were saying before, like Levi mentioned, like there'll be things that I will list, and sometimes I will never even do an inspection there. And I may speak to the vendor twice in 4 weeks, but the whole thing's been done because someone else has got in there, done an open, taken 3 buyers through or sold it. And it's, so that's just, and it's flip side on the other side too. You know, Toby or Zoe or Trent might list something in my team. I might do 15 inspections there over the course of 60 days and end up being one that sells it. So it's just that reciprocal scratching each other's back sort of scenario.
We've got between the three of us, we've got a pretty good finger on our pulse about the personality type of each of our agents. They're all great and they've all great at certain things. And if one of them was to walk out the door tomorrow and say, look, I'm moving interstate, whatever. We know exactly the type of person that we'd be looking for. So we can't just do one interview and employ someone. They need to go through a process. And anyone who is employed, they'll be interviewed by every single person in the team. It's just a must.
Yeah. Okay. And is there any disputes that arise ever? There must be some disputes at times. And how do you navigate your way through those?
The only disputes I'd say is, and this would happen in any agency and this would happen in life, it's just, no, I would handle it this way. And then someone else in the team might think, no, I think we should handle it this way. So it's mostly when you've got an offer on the table, more just because you're trying to understand the motivation of that buyer, the personality type of that buyer, how the vendor is going to react if you deliver things certain ways. That's probably the only way some kind of dispute comes up within the teams, I'd say.
Yeah.
Just because you'd be like, no, I want to do it this way. And someone else says, no, I think we should do that. It's just personality types within the team. And you've just got to, there's just got to be compromise. There's got to be give and take. It can't just be, it's always going to be my way.
Guys, it's obviously an incredible working culture that you've been able to develop there. Organic, but lots of moving parts and sounds like a well-oiled machine. How do you handle the rewards and recognition side of things where the guys are great, but they're working in teams? How do you reward those individuals outside of commissions, obviously?
Yeah, there's the odd lunch and things and breakfasts that we do with the teams.
We have a pretty bloody good Christmas party every year.
Yeah.
We arguably have one of the better Christmas parties for the size of our business.
Christmas parties have become probably the favourite thing, and I'm sure there's been administrative staff that have never left us because they want to wait to the next Christmas party. So, they're probably a common thing around the country now, but we've always put the staff first to be rewarded really well and with their partners. So we include partners, no matter how big a company will ever become, there'll be always a partner invited because the partner has a fair bit to do with the support of an agent in the
100%
business.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we've flown to Sydney before. We've had the Pink Hummers. We've gone to Luna Park in St Kilda. It's always a dress-up theme as well. We've had bands and comedians and quite a variety, but it's and it's always a surprise too. So it's last year we got a bus here on a Sunday morning. I think we met here at 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
9 o'clock. We had espresso martinis being made for everyone at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. And funny enough, everyone just took them, didn't they? Everyone just grabbed them too and started drinking. So, and then we went from there to got on a boat. We went into Geelong and it just, sort of snowboarded. There's music going the whole time. So everyone has fun, really relaxed. So, other than that,
I probably think the other thing that as a reward, like all the staff, they have other industries that I've worked in and other businesses, I'm sure, there's not many family availability for family commitments and those sort of things. So there's the three of us never really kind of going, oh, why are they picking their kid up from school? Why aren't they in the office? Like there's that. We know that they're putting in the effort. So we know there's, like if they want to come in late for that particular school thing or something like that. And, whatever it is, we're very flexible and open around that. But we try and reward, by not being strict, 8:30 to 6, you're in here, gung-ho, there's no personal space outside of that.
Probably one of the
becomes more about outcomes, more outcome focused than, what hours you're putting in.
Yeah, you get longevity in that. And
Yeah, David, one of the probably the bigger rewards that is not monetary, but when they go on leave and go on a holiday, we tell everyone to not take your phone and switch the phone off. Now, today is hard because everything is on your phone, doing banking and shopping and paying for things.
Yeah.
But we've always said don't take your phone because you don't need to, or if you do, divert your phone calls to the office. So they are not required to work the entire time they're on holidays. Now, if you are in a traditional agency running your own business in there, it's pretty hard to just relax and switch off.
Yep.
So we've got the ability when you're in a team environment, the team person that remains in the office can pick up the work and continue to do what they've got to do. And they'll continue to earn money and get paid for whatever sale has occurred within the team while they're on leave for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 4 weeks.
Awesome.
So they get a complete holiday.
Sounds like a pretty good reward to me, turning the phone off. Talk to us about hyperlocal. It's a term that's sort of thrown around a fair bit in real estate and a lot of industries, I suppose. But you guys in your community would be being able to drive a lot of business by being very present and being truly hyperlocal. Alongside what Homely is doing, and I know you guys are sort of partnered with us. How does that look? How do you maintain the community focus throughout this last couple of months and moving forward?
Well, locally at the moment, probably the biggest thing, and you mentioned at the start, we all sort of surf, and surfing is one thing around here locally that hasn't been blacklisted, so to speak, and it's one outlet that we all do, our kids do, a lot of probably our clientele do, so we've been obviously involved in that space. We're involved in the local footy club. We've been a sponsor for them forever. In fact, 2 local footy clubs and netball clubs. Involved in the local surf lifesaving club. Been heavily involved in that. So right now, those things haven't been, on the cards. Local schools, kindergartens, fun runs. I think we've sponsored the fun run for 10 years. Yeah, and so we've been involved in those sort of things. So we are, and the fact that we all live here, and we all go to the supermarket here. We've got friends that are clients and clients that are friends and vice versa. And because there's, a different mix of people within the business, all of us are sort of all connected. It's that sort of 6 degrees of what's going on in the community, but then also in the marketplace as well. So it's been interesting at the moment because we haven't had those, we haven't had school functions, we haven't had those sort of things and those sort of events, but because of our brand and the history of our brand, we've probably been able to stay very focused and feel like we're still, connected with the community.
It's really important for us, David. I think the word transaction gets thrown around a fair bit in real estate.
Yeah.
But with us living here and within our business, no sale is ever called a transaction. It feels like a transaction because we all live here. We love the lifestyle. The best thing about our position here is you sell a property to someone, they've moved from Melbourne or where they're from, and you see them in the street 2 months later, 6 months later, a year later, and they just tell you how much they love living here. It's like the biggest reward that there is. So what you're saying about being hyper-local, it's you get so much enjoyment out of that. And again, like the word prospecting gets used in real estate. It's like, yes, you still want to connect with your future sellers and stay in touch with them, but a lot of the so-called prospecting will be walking down the main street to get a coffee and you'll bump into 5 clients. You go surfing, you go to Nippers, you go to the footy club, all that sort of stuff. It is a real community base. You do love it and you love just connecting with people. And then what happens in real estate just comes from that because people can see you as a genuine person that really does love what you're doing and love living where we are. Yeah, so Homely have been really supportive of for us here. So each week we produce this magazine that goes in the hands of every single listing appointment appraisal we do, give it to every buyer, hand it out every open home, cafes, everything. And Homely are on the back page there. So I'm committed to, helping us produce this. And then obviously, try and connect with people in the community here. And that's obviously the biggest difference that we see with Homely. Kind of like us, you try and connect with the community. Rather than just make it about listing and selling. There's a lot more to it, which is Homely's biggest point of difference, we find.
Fantastic.
Yeah. The website, having days on market, I think is a really good feature for the viewers as well. And even agents just looking at other listings that have been on there for a long time. That's a nice little unique point of difference, what they've got on that website.
Fantastic. Guys, I reckon once this video goes out, you're probably going to have a bunch of applications for people wanting to join your agency. So
we'll auction it off.
Nice.
We do, David. We probably almost have a resume submitted to us almost on a weekly basis, I reckon. And as Levi said before, we sort of scale things when we need to scale things, and we do make it a very. We obviously have to understand the person, feel that they'd be the right fit, but then we would also, as Levi said, we would certainly interview that person through the rest of the team as well. So we do get requests, and I think part of that is that people see what we're doing as a business, the energy, the enthusiasm, the fun out there, and the banter even in the community, and that's probably one of the reasons why people want to come and be on board with us.
No doubt. I'm sure it's a culture that most real estate people would love to be involved with. Christian, Ben, Levi, thanks for giving us a bit of time today. Really do appreciate it. And we'll let you guys get back to your market there.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, David. Cheers.